Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am so excited because I have someone very special here with me today. And before we get to her, just want to remind you that this is the BAG show, and I am your host, Lawana Parker. Remember, this show is for you, the author, the aspiring author, the wannabe author, and the someday I am absolutely going to write that book author. If you have any questions, please send them to me and I'll be happy to answer them. And of course, if I do not know the answer, I will find someone who can give you the correct answer. Just send your emails to lwrepark@gmail.com and make sure you put the words BAG in the subject line so you get preferential treatment. Because I get a lot of emails and sometimes it's just junk stuff and I just kind of pass it by. And I don't want to do that to your email because you are important to me. Well, today I am super excited because I have an author. None of you have met yet, but I hope you get to know her. She's done some fabulous things since she's been in this country. And because she's a very special friend, I kind of watched her grow from the first time that I met her. But I still don't know a whole lot about her. She spoke at my retreat last year, and I was really excited to learn some things that I hadn't known. So today, you are going to get to learn some of those same things and more because I just know this woman has done so much more since then. So please help me welcome none other than Joanna Durkin. Joanna, I am so glad to have you here today.
Thank you, Anna. I just can't tell you how excited I was, and I was thinking, okay, what I'm gonna talk about, but decided, okay, I'm just gonna relax, talk about what I'm gonna talk about.
Well, I know you wrote a book and it's going very well. You spoke about it at our retreat last year, and I would like you to share with the audience today about why you wrote that book and what is it that you do regarding the book? Because most of the time, people they repurpose their books, and I know
Yes.
some of what you're doing. So I want you to share with the audience.
Okay. The reason why I wanted to write a book is back in my mind, I always telling people how I grew up. And every time I was telling the story, the way I grew up and how I moved to the United States. And everybody's so interested and says, man, Joanna, that your story is just so amazing, so inspiring. You should write a book. So I was thinking, oh, okay, I think that's a great idea. It was in my mind. I want to say 25, maybe 30 years ago. And up till 2015. And in between, it's not like I never thought about writing it. It's just holding the pen and start writing. I'm telling you, I stopped like at 2 paragraphs. Done. My story is done. I was thinking, okay, no, this is not gonna go well. I don't know how to write a book. It's very discouraging myself. So in 2016, I made up my mind. It's not made up my mind to write a book. It's made up my mind to rejoin the coaching program with Bob Proctor. I've been following him, and if the audience don't know, if you guys don't know, Bob Proctor is very famous in the Secret movie and that book too.
Mhm.
And and I learned from his material. I just fell in love with it. So I went to this event and I met my mentor, who's a very famous author, Peggy McCall. And I met with her and I said, I was thinking about writing a book, but I don't know if I should write it or not. And she just looking at me, she says, You don't even have to tell me your story. I know you have a story. Everybody has a story. And everybody should tell that story. And it doesn't matter if you know how to write, you're going to tell because people love story.
Mm-hmm.
And that is really gives me so much like energy. I thought, okay, I'm just going to do it. And of course, the rest is history, right? It doesn't it doesn't mean that okay, if I decided, here you go, it's done. It is. It's just a matter of how you're going to follow through the process. And I think a lot of people get to that point. It's very easy to get off track. Say, oh, this is not going to work. And who am I to write a book? And this was on my mind all the time. But I think make a decision to write a book is probably one of the best decisions I made in my whole life. And the book is really a business card.
Yes, it
And
is.
it's not just to prove that you wrote a book.
Mm-hmm.
It's a business card that's showing who you are and introduce to people, here's what I have done. This is my story I want to share with you. It's a live business card. Doesn't matter how big your business want to go, right?
Great thing about that, usually, I'm not going to say 100% of the time because there's always an exception out there, but usually people will not throw away a book. They will hold on to that book. And
Yes.
even if they don't read it right away, one day they'll be sitting down and they'll remember that book and they'll go, I was going to read that. And they'll pull it
Yes.
off the shelf and start reading. So it's
Right.
something that people will keep with them.
Mm-hmm.
They won't get rid of it. They may loan it to someone, but they won't trash it. So
I
that's the best part about it.
I totally agree with you. Yes.
Well, I know that you have a program that you do with young people, and I would love for you to share. Oh, by the way, do you have a copy
Yes.
of your book with you?
Yes.
Hold it up so the audience can see it.
Voila.
All right. Okay. Now don't cover your beautiful face. Great. And they can get that on Amazon?
Yes.
Again, okay, great. Terrific. Okay, well, I was mentioning about a program that you do with young people. I'd like you to share the story of what you do, how you got started, and what's come of that program.
The name of the book is Secret Gift. And since I started getting into self-help area industry, since I was, I want to say 24, 25, I just had my baby, my only child. And I quit my job and I decided because education is my major, one of my majors.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned about how important that you stay with your baby at least 2 to 3 years after they were born. And I thought, okay, I just quit. So I was teaching at the time, so I quit my job. Everybody freaked out at the time. What did you do? You didn't ask me? You didn't ask us? You just go ahead and quit? What are you going to do? And serious, I didn't really think about what I'm going to do. I just knew that's the right thing to do, to take care of my baby, to raise my baby on my own, by myself. And at the time, of course, I had been struggling with finding a a part-time job that is not affect how I raise my child. And of course, it's a bumpy road. It's never good when you're trying to find a piece of this and piece of that, trying to connect them together. And at the time, I had this opportunity to become like involved with a direct selling business. Sounded to me it's a pretty free. I can manage my own time, and through the years, and that's how I raised my child. And my daughter is just phenomenal. She just turned 37, and we've been like friends. I mean, the closest friend ever. And going through that process, and I always stick with one thing, that who am I? You know, I was searching for what kind of person I am. And it is constantly like challenging myself and lost in the universe all the time, right? And where should I go? Who should I follow? And finally, I moved to the United States. We immigrated to the United States in 1992. And
You came here from, you immigrated here from where?
from Taiwan.
Taiwan. Okay, okay.
Yes. And I have a very complicated like childhood because my parents, they were literally fled from Shanghai, China to Taiwan to start over. You think about they gave up everything. And that's how I grew up in a family of 7 children. That's why I was always struggling. Well, who am I? Who should I learn from? And I was very confused and very hard to. I think there's a lot of people will think the same. When you have a huge family and parents, they don't make any money, and then all of a sudden you're like how do you say that? Like you're not important. I mean, 7 children, right?
I understand. I was the oldest of 8,
There
and
you
I
go.
know exactly how you feel. I always felt like I was invisible to the rest of the family because I
Yes,
looked nothing like anyone else in my house.
yes,
It was
yes.
weird.
Oh, 7 and 8. I mean, we're about the same, right? And
I may be
yes,
older,
yes. Well,
but you look good to have a
uh,
daughter for 37. So just wanted you to know
thank
that.
you. Thank you. Thank you. And before I came on the show, I really think about what I want to share with our audience. Like, what is there for them to take a piece of what I'm going to tell. And I really want to have an opportunity to inspire the audience that if I can do it and everybody can do it. And not because everybody's seeing me like, oh, this is a happy-go-lucky lady, right? But what is behind, what is behind this lady? And the book is all about how I discover who I was and get to the point that gotta let everything behind. Not like we ignore them. We know what's going on. We're just gonna embrace what happened before. Let it go. And then from that point forward, how I'm gonna use what I have learned to influence other people. Do good about that. And that's why I create this program helping teenagers. And I kind of spend a little time on my past because that's how the whole things that lead me to today, to the day that I decided I'm going to focus on how to help those children that lost in the generosity and thinking about who am I? I'm not important. Nobody's paying attention to me. Me. That's who I was. I always focus on me. I never thought about, oh, I want to give. I want to give. And today we teach children, oh, you want to give. But I wasn't born in that kind of family. Everybody's fighting for food, right? Who's talking about giving? No. So I focus so much on myself. That's why I have so much pain. And now I can literally feel the teenagers if they don't have any guidance. And this is how we come into this picture and teach them, not just teach them, is guiding them. How do you make decision? I think that's the key. Nothing else. How do you become a goal-driven person and make a wise decision every time? And then you follow your path going to do the best of you. And
Well, I'm curious. You just
mhm,
said something that I feel is really important that many people struggle with.
mhm.
How do you how did you determine what was the wisest decision for you to make? Because in fact, I was talking to someone about the very thing the other day.
Yes.
Things come at you, and how do you determine that it's the right thing that's headed your way? Because sometimes it seems
Yes.
like, oh, this is just too good to be true, or oh my God, how will I ever do? So, how do
Right.
you make that decision? Because I know there's probably somebody else out there who's struggling with that same situation, making the wise decision.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing it up. It's very difficult for us, for most of the people. Why? Is because when our conscious mind is it's like blurry. I don't know what I want. And I'm not saying like, oh, my dream, right? My purpose. No, not that far. Is what I want now. Making decision is based on what I want. You got to know what I want. For example, your friend asking you, hey, let's go to a movie. That's a goal. And it's happening like all day long, this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Let's make it real simple. If somebody call you right now, hey, Luana, let's go to a movie. And you go, it's a good idea. But how are you going to make a decision based on, do you want to go? Can you go? Right? Feel
Uh-huh.
like going. So you're going to think about, so the making decision is based on, I have a goal, whether we want it or we don't want it. But if you want it, then you got to give up something to get it. And for anybody. Okay, so if I make a decision, is that going to hurt me? One thing. What if I go with this person, my friend, go to a movie, then I won't be able to finish my homework. So what is the decision? But if you think, okay, this junior high school kids, right? He's gonna say, okay, I can go to a movie and then come back and finish my homework. But if I go to a movie, come back at 10 p.m., then I won't be able to finish before 12. Then I need to go to bed. So you start getting like, okay, I'm so confused. What I'm gonna do? Very simple. When you make a decision, is what is that you want to accomplish? For example, you want to complete a homework or you want to go to a movie, right? You go to a movie,
Which is
then you
more
walk.
important?
Yes. And if you made a decision, then you stick with it. I'm just going to go to a movie. Okay, so what you're going to sacrifice is when you come back, you don't go to bed. You're going to finish your homework.
You make it so simple.
You know the
And yet
problem?
we as individuals make it so complicated when it really is just as simple as what you just said.
Yes,
You make the decision, you commit to it, and you accept the consequences.
exactly.
You said,
Exactly.
I go to the
Exactly.
movies and I can't get back in time to finish to do my homework and finish by 12. I don't get to sleep. I've got to stay up because that homework has to be done.
Yeah. And the consequences is if you don't do it, then tomorrow the teacher gonna give you 0 point, right?
I love your explanation. In fact, I'm going to steal your explanation. Make it so simple.
I love the way you bring up the questions because I think you read my mind because I did make some notes
Mhm,
about the program,
mhm,
and one of it is how do you actually make a decision? What is a good decision? There's no good or bad. It's a decision you make. It is what it is, but based on what you want to achieve. And then you gonna how do you say that, take the consequence.
mhm,
Very
mhm.
simple. And it sometimes it gets really complicated. It's our fault because we make it complicated. It's very simple.
Yes, thank you. There are so many people who needed to hear that explanation. I mean,
Even
as I say, it
adults.
was just really simple, but we make it all difficult for ourselves because we're trying to think of all these flamboyant things to go with it as to why, oh, well, I shouldn't do that. And it's
Yes.
usually those negative things in us that's telling us.
Yes.
And if we can just quiet that down,
Thank you.
a
Yes.
decision,
Hmm.
deal with our decision, right? Regardless of the consequences, and know that we have steps that we have to follow afterwards. As you say, that homework's got to be done. If not, got another consequence you have to live with. You get a zero on your zero mark. So, so simple. Thank
Yes.
you. I'm sorry to interrupt you because you were sharing with us how you got your program started and why.
Hmm.
But that just popped out at me, and I just felt that. Well, even I needed to hear that because sometimes I find it difficult, and I realize now after your explanation, it's me who's making it difficult, not the decision itself.
Right. Right. Right.
Okay, so I'll finish your story for us.
Okay. Uh, but kind of follow up what you just comment on these questions is when we learn about this, right? We just
Mhm,
discussed this. You think this is very simple, but sounds like really simple. It's very hard to do. And it's same thing for younger people. Same thing. It sounds like it really simple and easy to do. And maybe you do it now because I said it. But tomorrow it'll be an old story. That's our paradigm is controlling us. We have to understand it, practice it, and we're going to take control over our paradigm.
so how do
That's
we
mhm,
get control? How do we not let it become an old story?
practice. You got to have faith in you. I know it will work and I know it works. I am going to take control. That is most of the people, they couldn't do it. Why? Because first we got to understand who are we fighting with? That's our paradigm. That's ourselves. We're
Mhm.
constantly, right? Conflict with ourselves. Go or not. Love you, no love you. Tell or not tell. We're like literally torture ourselves.
I one time created this fan, and on one side I had the angel, on the other side I had the devil, and I would say, okay, here's what goes on constantly. The devil's over here shouting, "Oh, you can't do that. Why are you wasting your time?" And he's really loud about what I can't do. While the angel is over here speaking softly, "Yes, you can. You have everything in you to do what you need to do. You just have to do it." The voice is so soft and so low that the devil is overshadowing it, and I'm here.
Yeah. You're so funny. That's such a great example that you share. Uh, sometimes again, I was just saying, life is basically it's really simple, but we're the one that make it complicated. And just think about God made us, right? And give us, for example, they give us land, for example. So if you have a piece of land, they're so big, it's so big, so you want to divide it by two, one on the right, one on the left. And then you say, I'm going to plant something on it, right? And then you say, Joanna, what do you think I should plant? I said, I got two different seeds. You go ahead and plant. And one is corn, and one is poisoning, whatever it is.
Mhm.
So you plant it on the different area, two sides of the land. And guess what? Does the corn will grow? Yeah. Yes. How about the poisoning?
It will grow too.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
who's control? Who's in control? Is
You.
I decided what to plant, right?
Mm-hmm.
But most people, they would say, that's not my fault. It is because you don't plant it, it won't grow. So we plant the seed, so we're gonna take control, means we're gonna take the consequence. And that's the same thing. That's why I create this program, bring those children, they're teenager. The best way, that's how I figure it out. I bring them, I take them away from that environment, like a seed, right? I take them from that place, coming to United States and plant the seed right here. You think about what's the difference of the land? It's the culture, it's the paradigm, it's the environment control people, how, the way we think. So if I take them out of that environment, so they won't affected by that environment. When they come here, they live in the environment I want them to be.
Well, I
So
know that you had some major success with these children. Can you tell us the outcome of working with them?
I I'm so proud of those kids. Not only that they succeed, and in the same time, I I grew with them.
Mhm.
Not only they succeed, their parents succeed, the host family succeed, and the school succeed. Everybody wins in this program. Why am I saying that? Because I give them the same information that talk to the host family. This is my thoughts, and I hope you can help me, and then to help you. And the host family, they use the same way to teach their own children. And then our student in that environment, so everybody wins. And then think about when they come, is the youngest is a 14 years old. So they go through the high school, 9, 10, junior and senior. When they finish high school, 100% going to 4 years colleges.
Wow,
And
100%. That's amazing. Our public schools are that they can't even count a record like that. That's
no,
awesome.
no, our all of our students, they go to the private school. Why? Because that environment uh, is safer in a way, because school is small. And think about our public education. I'm not saying public education is no good. It really depends. Okay, public school, high school, five, I want to say one counselor got to help 400 to 500 students. There's only 4 or 5 counselors in the school, public school. Private school, 200 kids, they have 2 counselors. You think about, break it down to different grades. One counselor help 50 kids. That's it. 1/10.
Difference. Yeah, big
Very
difference.
different. And then also, I think my thoughts are, we're all spiritual beings,
Mm.
and teaching children to love everybody around you your family, love yourself, and to give, to receive. And that kind of idea is not like happening in high school, because I taught in high school. So I know exactly the differences between the two. And the I think the key of success to helping teenagers is you really have to teach them how to recognize what they want.
Mhm.
It's just so important. Just give them a goal. What is your dream? What is your goal? Of course, their goal is going to a 4 years college in the United
Mhm.
States. But when they graduate from high school, I guarantee their parents that their children's gonna speak fluently in English, good writer, and a good thinker.
More of what we need. Especially the writing part. Oh,
Yes,
I am so in love
yes,
with writing and books. It's not even funny.
yes, yes.
Well,
I love your energy.
it has been really great hearing your story. Do you have anything coming up that you might want to share with the audience and how they can contact you?
Very simple. Go to Amazon, find my book. They, I
Okay.
welcome I welcome everybody. Send me messages, ask questions, and I'm not only mentoring children, teenager, because that's my passion.
Mhm.
But I also mentor their parents too, because where children got it from is from
In
parents.
advance.
So the parents, they have to change as well. This is just kind of pop up in my mind. I want to share with you. It's funny. The first interview always student parents and with student, right?
Uh-huh.
And then first thing I would ask is, what is your goal? And the student will say, I don't know, go to a good college, and I want to go to high school and then go to college.
Mhm.
Okay, so what kind of college you're looking for? Um, I don't know. And the mom says, Harvard, Stanford. And then I kind of look at them. I go, is that your child's goal or your goal? We didn't get good education, and if now we have this financial ability to
Mhm.
support our child, of course we want them to go to a better school. I go,
Yeah.
well, this is the thing. I said, uh, you like to go to Stanford, right? That's your goal. So you go ahead and set that up for your goal, right? And your child, you want your child to become the person he want to become, or you want your child become the person you want him to become. And they always answer my questions is, Joanna, I want him to become the person he want to become. Then you shouldn't be asking him to go to Stanford, because that's probably not his goal. Of course, I said, I know that you guys didn't get very good education, so you want him to have this opportunity. Opportunity is there, but that's not his goal. So he has to choose his own goal. So that's the first conversation that I will set the tone that I'm not gonna do whatever you tell me to do, because this is my program. You gotta listen to me. And so the first meeting is very, very important. Just like in the United States, if I mentor a family because they have an issue with their children, first thing I want to tell them is, if you want to work with me, you got the first meeting, I gotta set a tone that you gotta work with me. This is not your show. You can't just take over, right? So I said, I'm going to work with you only if you agree to follow the rules. Because if you're so success, you wouldn't come to me.
Mm.
And most people, they sign agreement and they want you to listen to them. Then I said, if I teach you the way you want me to teach you, then you're not going to learn anything.
Wow, that is really amazing. I, it's too bad our regular schools can't do the same thing, but
Mm-mm.
I understand they've got all these outside influences, so it makes it difficult. But I am
Very.
so proud of the fact that you found a way. You found your passion. You found your passion, and you found a way to do it and provide something for people that's so giving. Um, we need more people who have that ability to work with the young and even to incorporate the parents into what you're doing. That's just awesome. So
Thank
anyway,
you.
I do want to again thank you for appearing on the show. It's been great having you here and learning about what you're doing. And if someone wants to contact you, is there a way they can reach you?
Yes. Uh, Very simple. My email is my first name and my last name is Joanna
Mhm.
Durkin at gmail.com.
Okay, great. We'll make sure we put that in the little space so people can find you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. And
And-
also my website is joannadurkin.com.
oh, good. Okay. Well, that makes
Yeah.
it real easy to remember.
Yes. Yes.
Ah, thank you. I will make sure both are there so people can reach out to you. And
Yeah.
if there's anything that we can do, please let me know and we'll do that. I'd love to have you come back again on the program and share more of what you're doing. And I'm just going to keep following you because I know you're doing some wonderful things out there.
Oh.
You started speaking, which is another one of my things that I love doing.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I love it. We're gonna get along pretty well.
Oh, absolutely.
But you
So,
know, I really, really appreciate your invitation, bringing me on your program. I feel like I feel, how do you say that? There's so much to give, and this Zoom platform is amazing. Um, we can do a lot on
yes, you can. And I
the
thank you for
share our
mentioning
thoughts and
that because I meant to ask you, how are you
Mhm.
handling working with your students now that we have the COVID thing going on? Um, are you doing your classes via Zoom now or just waiting?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Practice with Zoom.
Okay.
You know, now is a busy season for to help kids to apply colleges,
Hmm.
and we set up once a week on Zoom meeting and review the colleges and everything on Zoom.
This is what amazing gift that God has given us. You know, we have better
Exactly.
contact with families now. We don't have to get in a car or
Yes,
get on a
yes,
plane to go visit. We just turn on the computer and click on Zoom, and we're right there with one another. Absolutely amazing.
yes, yes, yes.
So
And I even do mastermind group on Zoom.
good, good.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, you have come a long way since was that August of last year?
Yeah,
That was,
I
I think that was the
know.
last
I
time
know.
that
It's been a
we
while.
actually saw one another in person. We've spoken via
Hmm.
Facebook Messenger and phone, but um,
Right,
wow,
right,
that's
right.
amazing. That is
On your
amazing.
retreat, I still remember. We had a
I
good
had a
time.
lot of fun there. And in fact, I was planning on it
Yes.
again this year, but we got hit with this. And I've been thinking about how to do that on Zoom. And I think I've come up with a way to do it on Zoom and still make it very uh,
Uh-huh.
uh, just as much fun as we had last time. In fact, this
Yeah.
weekend I
Yeah.
was at two conferences and a workshop. So
Mm-hmm.
busy, busy.
Wow.
So anyway,
Busy.
if it wasn't for Zoom, I wouldn't have been able to do all three. I would have had to make a decision and stick with the
Yes.
consequences.
Yes.
So
Yes.
anyway, thank you again for being on the show. We so have enjoyed you being here and listening to your story. And I just love those pearls of wisdom that you shared with us. And I'm sure those
Oh,
out in
that
the
you're very
audience are
kind.
going to take it as well and run with it because we do. We're our biggest enemy. I did what I used to do
Yes.
this talk about the fact that I was no longer a victim because I had started recognizing that I was the one who was making me a victim, not the outside world, me.
Yes. Yes.
Oh
Isn't that
gosh.
so true?
Well, thank you all for
Yes.
joining us today, and I hope you've enjoyed our program. Joanne has just been an absolute delight. I love having her on and looking forward to her coming back again. And we want to see you also again next week. We'll be on same time as always. We may be a little bit late getting it posted, but we're always there on Sundays as we have committed to doing. So we appreciate you being part of the audience. And again, if you want to be a part of the program, just email me at lwrepark@gmail.com and let me know. We'd love to have you become a guest on the BAG show. So until next week, please remember to stay safe and keep the faith.